I think it's safe to say that if you're a pre-med student or any kind of medical student, you make a lot of sacrifices. Ask anybody in medical school. 90% of medical students will agree with me. You spend an extraordinary amount of time and energy in your studies or really padding that resume or CV at the expense of doing fun things with your friends. You kind of have to pick between strong academic life or a fun social life. And there was no balance. But it is possible to lead a strong academic life while still having the best time in medical school. And in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 habits that I committed myself to doing to make sure that I lead a healthy work-life balance while still doing well in school. All right, let's get right into this. But first, if you're new, definitely consider subscribing. One of the first things I recommend is to become mentally prepared to tackling very long days in medical school. Now, doing so requires a disciplined schedule. One where you spend at least 15 to 20 minutes working towards something that makes you feel the sense of accomplishment. And I'd say the very first things that you can do by feeling accomplished is by executing a morning routine. Think about it. Classes begin at 8 a.m. You therefore have to be in class with a productive mindset for several hours. And this doesn't apply to those who pay attention in class. Because chances are, even if you're not paying any attention in class, you're still going to be working on some other thing for another class. So that's why if you work for 15 to 20 minutes on some kind of morning routine, like I said, you'll 1, achieve a sense of accomplishment, and 2, you'll activate your brain's cognitive powers. If you want to spend 10 minutes on the treadmill in the morning, that's a good example because that gets your blood pumping and that improves blood flow to the brain. You'll feel more awake. If you want to spend 15 to 20 minutes engaging in mindful activities, then go for it because that improves your mental well-being. If you want to journal for 10 minutes to help cultivate your thoughts, that's an example of mindfulness, by the way. Definitely go for it. You see what I mean? So for me, every morning I spend 10 to 20 minutes on the treadmill. And if I have a day where classes start later than usual, then I go on a full run for maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes. All right, the next change that I made is chunking out 15 minutes of my time just to plan. Just have a general gist or general plan of what my day is gonna look like. If you're in med school, your classes are already laid out for you. During class time, a lot of med students like myself don't actually pay attention. You get to work on stuff for other classes, or you get to work on research. And that's fine. I mean, I do the exact same thing. That just means that every other hour outside of class time is free for you to use. So I just pencil in what needs to get done during those times. For example, during lunch, instead of eating an actual meal, I actually go to the gym because that knocks out one thing that I wanted to get done for the day. And then I eat later. Other days, after classes are done, like around 3 or 4, I meal prep. Now don't overburden yourself by doing it. Don't overburden yourself by putting too much on that list. Be realistic about what needs to get done. You shouldn't have more than 7 items on that list. After figuring out your to-do list, pull up a daily schedule or calendar. Luckily, my school provides a calendar for me, so I kind of just jot down what I need to do on the PDF version on my iPad. I even pencil in breaks so that I can avoid burnout and I can actually relieve stress that's associated with school. The process of effectively planning out my day made me more focused and it forced me to get more work done. My productivity exponentially improved. All right, the third thing is sleeping early. I think that sleep is probably the most underrated aspect of any medical student's work-life balance. Sleep is very important because it allows you to regenerate a lot of the mental processes and neurological processes that are occurring. Sleep deprivation can actually lead to a lot of immune problems and cardiovascular issues. So it's actually very detrimental for any med student to have any kind of sleep deprivation. Now, sleep deprivation can also impact learning and memory, which is a given because a lot of your learning is consolidated during your sleep. Sleep is also effective in working out. That allows you to see progress in the gym. I recommend getting 6 to 7 hours of sleep. 8 hours is pushing it just a little bit just because the rigorous workload that we have as medical students. 5 hours, I think, is not enough sleep for medical students. The fourth thing is investing in yourself in all dimensions of your life. So that means like trying new things and forcing yourself to do new things. Try looking at it as if it's investment opportunities. How investments like these can pay dividends in the future. For me, for example, I started learning how to cook more and grill more because I feel like that's something that takes my mind away from studying. I feel like this will pay dividends in the future because that'll allow me to be better at meal prep and balancing having healthy foods with a lot of nutritional value while still being busy in the clinic or at the hospital. I also force myself to make more friends. As someone who has probably been very introverted, I feel like forcing myself in social situations like meeting peers in med school outside of the classroom that allows me to just learning how to properly talk in social situations. The fifth thing is developing your zone. Your zone is that field or that bubble that you have that you create for yourself when you're actively studying for something or actively studying for boards or institution exams. So this zone can be achieved by sitting in one spot, dedicating that spot just for studying and accomplishing a lot of work. So if you're one to study in bed, then that would be a bad example because the bed is where you sleep. Some people like going to the library, other people like studying at home at their desk. Either way, starting to develop a routine at your desk or at the library in one specific spot conditions your brain into thinking that it's time to do work. That subconsciously allows you to become more productive. Having a lot of these habits goes a long way in medical school. And it doesn't even have to be in medical school. It can be in undergrad if you choose a lot of credits or very stressful graduate program. I feel like in my last 1.5 years of medical school, these 5 things are what I focused on, and anyone that asks for my advice in medical school, these are the 5 things that I've told them, and I wanted to share that with you. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for your support. I greatly appreciate it, and it's helping my channel grow. If you like the content, leave a like and subscribe if you're new. I like keeping it real. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.